Okay, guys, welcome back to Swamp Show 2021. I'm Mike. I am Product Marketing Director for Swampfox Optics.
And I'm Erin. I'm the resident gun nerd here at Swampfox Optics.
And right now, you can't tell if we're wearing pants. So today is Wolverine Slide Day and Accessories Day. We're going to talk about the return of the Wolverine Slide, and we've got some big reveals at this end of this video on some accessories that you guys have no idea that we were even considering making. So you will definitely want to stick around for the end of the video and watch us reveal those accessories. And we're doing a giveaway at the end of today's video, which is super cool. It's an item that I wish I could have for myself. Someone else is going to get theirs before I get mine. That's the way these things go. But we also need to do a little bit of cleanup on yesterday's 1.5 Mohawk video.
Yeah, you guys were awesome. The comments, the questions, keep them coming. Obviously, the enthusiasm for Mohawk was through the roof. That's what we need. So we are going to continue testing the ones that we have. We want to find out if they're going to do what we want them to, or if we need to throw them back for some more QC, R&D, get that going. Right. But obviously, the market is there. This is the information we need, guys. So if you have any questions, comments, flood the comment section with them. It's what it's there for. We do want to thank Paul Hughes for pointing out something that we did miss. All of our Prism optics do use an adjustable diopter on the ocular lens. That way you can get it set to your eye for your use. The other one that came up was, yes, all of our prisms are still going to use the shake awake technology so that you set it down. 4 minutes later, the optic goes to sleep, saves its battery power. Pick it up, it senses the motion, and resumes that prior illumination setting. That's on all of our prisms, and it's going to be there for all of our future prisms as well.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, to us, it's just sort of obvious because we help develop these things and we know our own product line. So we kind of missed the mark a little bit because from our point of view, well, yeah, of course the new 5x36 Monster Prism is going to have shake and wake. Why wouldn't it? But then we realized we actually didn't talk about that. So Paul Hughes and the other guys who comment about that, thank you for reminding us that there's things that sometimes we take for granted in our position. Well, yeah, of course they all have an adjustable ocular. Why wouldn't you do that? But we didn't actually say so. So thanks very much. And we are reading these comments. We're going to take the best questions from the comments, and we're going to farm those and answer them in Friday's question and answer session. And that question and answer session will end with the grand prize giveaway. You definitely want to sign up for that. And you can get extra entries by sharing the referral link below with your friends. So it's down there somewhere. Go and find the referral link, and you can get extra entries to sign up for these giveaways. The final giveaway on Friday is really nice.
Yeah.
It does not suck. Trust me.
We did also have some questions about what are we doing this week. So we'll go ahead and let you know. Today is accessories and return of the Wolverine Slide Day.
Wolverines!
Tomorrow
Couldn't help myself.
are red dots. Thursday are scopes and LPVOs. And then Friday is our live Q&A.
That's the plan.
So if you guys have questions about our optics, what we're doing, throw them down there. They're getting read.
Yep. Erin, make a muscle for me. It's not bad, but it's not great.
No.
I can do better.
I know you can.
Yeah, I'm going to do better now because I have John Napolitano as my special guest today to help me announce the return of the Wolverine Slide. So
dude's a mountain.
He does not skip leg day, chest day, back day, or any other day. And he is a lightning fast competitive shooter who knows how to shoot Glocks with dots and poly 80 builds with dots really, really well. So get out of here. I'll see you in a little while.
See you later, guys.
All right, and now for our special guest segment today, I have the famous, the controversial, the beastly John Napolitano, the New York shooter, competitor. Glad to have you, man. How's it going?
Doing well. I'm not sure I'm famous. I might be special.
And you're definitely a beast. We got that going for us. Yeah. So we're here to talk about the new Wolverine slides and poly 80 frames and building your own Glock and how that's sort of this thing that's taking the market by storm now. Everybody wants to get their own custom Glock from their own build, right? So you were one of the pioneers on this, right? So talk to me about what's a 80% receiver? What's a poly 80 frame?
So a polymer 80 frame it comes as just a piece of plastic. So it's not regulated by anybody. So anybody can order it. You don't need a gun license. Once you build it and it becomes a gun, then it depends on what state you're in. So if you're in New York, you're automatically a felon. So you have to take your Polymer 80 frame, have it serialized, then take it down. That one doesn't even have a serial number. And then take it down to, I'm just so you know, I'm on their FFL. So I do have guns.
Gotcha.
So you take it down, have them serialized. I then have them, I take it back home, build it. Now it's on my license already. So in New York, every gun is on my license with the serial number. It's not just a gun license. So my gun license is 3 cards long, front and back, with all my guns.
Right.
So,
but you got it. When you got it in the mail straight to your house, and it wasn't a gun yet. You make it a gun.
It wasn't a gun yet. Yeah,
right.
Then I made it a gun. And then I'm lucky enough that a lot of my Polymer 80s are sent to me as full guns via DEFCON 3. And he's a gunsmith he's like a plastic surgeon. I mean, he makes these guns unbelievable. So a lot of my guns are already made, competition ready, and they come to me 100% from him to an FFL, and then I pick them up. Right. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. And now Polymer 80 sells 100%. So this is their 100%er, which is right around the same price as a Glock. And what's nice about it, I mean, clearly it's a nicer looking gun aesthetically. It has the grip done already, so you don't have to have it stippled. A lot of times when people send their guns out, they want this undercut here. That's already there. They want the grip angle changed, more 1911-ish, and this has it. So, and then it has like some of the extended stuff and little extras, has obviously upgraded sights.
Right. So they're expanding into full guns at this point, but what made them famous was the 80%ers.
The 80%er, yeah. And their 80%ers, like, unbelievable quality. I shoot them in competitions. I have some 80%ers that have 5,000 to 10,000 rounds through them, and they're just workhorses. They just run.
Yeah, and you're shooting some of our stuff in those competitions, right?
I am. So then I started shooting carry optic, and I started off with a Trijicon RMR, and I hated it. It was just too small. And it's funny because nobody wants to talk about aesthetics. And then I switched to the Delta Point, which is, I'm sure it's a great sight. It's just ugly as fuck. So I had this giant training wheel thing on, and I learned how to shoot a red dot. And then I wanted something a little bit smaller, and I settled in on the Hollow Sun. And then I found you guys, and you actually have a wider sight than the Hollow Sun. So this is higher and wider, but it really has the same footprint. It's not hanging over the gun.
Right. It necks up.
It looks cool, right? Because I don't want something that looks shitty on my gun, even though, you want it to be functional, but you also don't want it to look like that lunchbox one that they have now that's on top of the gun. And, durability, it's a competition piece. And I have been known to drop my guns, especially in training. But, I'm not throwing it off a building. I'm just dropping it like a regular gun. I've never had an issue with these. And I'm pretty rough on my guns. If you see, like I'm done with this gun, I chuck it on a table.
Yeah, I've seen your Instagram, man.
I'll pop the slide off, and I'll throw it, put another slide on, and run a different configuration. And I really do just beat the shit out of my stuff. So far, no problems with these, and I use them a lot. And this one, you can see the footprint on there. This is just your Swampfox, and then I have. I got so many freaking guns over here. So then I have this one that has the metal around it.
The Ironsides, yeah.
And it really looks aesthetically exactly the same. I mean, it's a tiny bit thicker because it has the new metal that's supposed to protect it. So I went either way. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. On a carry gun, I'd probably go with the metal just so it's a little more reinforcement. For the competition stuff, even though I'm banging it around, I've never broken one, so I'm pretty happy.
Knock on wood, right? So, but we've always got the warranty. If you do manage to get one to conk out, we'll take care of you. But I'm the same way. I carry a Liberty Plus Ironsides on my G26 as my carry gun, and is it really necessary? I don't know, but is it cheap insurance? Yeah. It doesn't hurt anything.
I rack my gun with this on my belt. I'll rack it. So, and without the metal. So, I mean, I do kind of beat it up. And so far, like I said, no issues. Probably should have the metal on there if you're going to rack it.
So on the Poly 80 thing, let's go back to that a little bit. You know, it's a bigger market than people realize, and people are. Why are people wanting to build their own? What's the idea with starting with an 80% lower instead of just spending $600 on a Glock?
So I think that the frame is about 150, right? And then you build the gun to your specifications. So you get any trigger you want. You can upgrade the trigger. By the time you're done with all the upgrades, it's roughly the same price as buying a Glock. Except now you have a better looking gun with a different grip angle. The stippling done. It's got the cut on it, you know, and then you pick out whatever slide you want. So you could go super expensive depending on the slide that you pick. This happens to be a Polymer 80 slide, but you really get to pick whatever you want. And for just about the same price, you now have a better gun with a better grip angle. The stippling's done and everything's customized. So like I carry all my guns have a extended slide release. I have an extended mag release. I have an extended takedown. So when you take the gun down, it's a little bit easier. Why would that work on the first try? Right?
Gotcha. Yep,
So
there you go.
Everything is a little bit custom on it, and it's the way I like it. And even the sights, like I use American sights.
Right.
So everything is just exactly what I want it to be.
So speaking of slides, that's what I'm here to talk about today. So when people are building up their Poly 80, or if they already have a Gen 3 Glock frame, you know, with the factory setup on it, and they want something that's custom, they want to customize their Glock, or they want to build up their own from scratch. Last year we came out with these. This is the Wolverine Slide. This is a Glock 17. This is last year's version, Glock 17. This one has a threaded barrel in it, and it's the Cerakote battle worn gray hand distressed Cerakote finish. We had a run of these last year. We sold the snot out of them. They sold way faster than we had planned, and then pandemic stuff happened, and we couldn't get more of them made. Couldn't get supplies. Everything was a log jam. Demand was through the roof, but you know we just couldn't. Pandemic stuff happened to them, and so my announcement for today's Swamp Show 2021 video is Wolverine slides are coming back, and we're going to start out doing 19s because what we found out in market research is people wanted the Glock 19 more than the 17 to start with. We'll eventually do 17s too, but this is the new news. This is the Glock 19 Wolverine Slide, and you'll notice this one's black, so this one is nitrided, and it's actually a little bit cheaper to do the nitride version instead of the Cerakote version. So the nitride, the graphic black nitride, will be $369 for just the bare slide, and $389 for the battle worn gray finish on these. And so these are coming back. We're having a whole slew of permutations on these things. So if you'll bear with me for a second, I want to explain this whole setup to you because we really had to science this out. So $369 for this slide by itself. But if you want to get the optic already on it, you can save a little bit of money. So if you get this this is Liberty here, that makes it $619 for just the Liberty, or $649 with the Liberty and the Shield already on it. Depending on which one you get, whether you just get the Liberty optic on the slide or the Liberty plus the Ironsides on the slide, we have different iron sights. We scienced out, we did the math, and you're going to get a perfect lower third co-witness whichever version that you get, because the Ironsides raises the deck height of that optic up a little bit, and we've got these combat cut iron sights, which we do because the combat cut puts the rear sight in front, so it never obscures the dot. No matter where the dot is in the window, you always see the dot. The iron sight never gets in the way, and that's why we do combat cut. And it's going to be whichever way you do it, with a Justice or a Justice plus the Shield. That'll be $659, $629, just the Justice on there. You'll get iron sights that are the perfect 1/3 co-witness with the slide right out of the box. It's going to be guaranteed to go right on that Poly 80 frame that you're building up. It's all guaranteed to work together. We're coordinating with them on it, right? What do you think?
So anybody out there who has a red dot optic and has tried to co-witness knows that it's an unbelievable pain in the ass. Because with a Glock sight, normally when you get suppressor sights, they're not adjustable. So whatever you buy, you're stuck with, and they're not cheap. They're usually like over $100.
Yep.
So then you pop them on, you co-witness as close as you can, but you're never really quite there unless you want to keep spending money and changing heights and adjusting, which I don't have the time or patience or money to do. So I just get mine close enough and like, fuck it, it's good, right?
Yeah.
And I don't co-witness in a competition, but if I was carrying on the street, I would most likely co-witness because God forbid the battery dies or something goes wrong. To have a slide come to me with the co-witness all set up, that's pretty awesome. And that's probably the number one reason why I don't co-witness is because it's just a pain in the ass.
I call this the easy button because I mean the biggest worry is compatibility issues. What if I build this thing and it's not compatible and you know it doesn't fit on there and it doesn't work, or you know it seems like it's going to fit and it goes on the frame and then it won't come off, you know, and I got to take it to a gunsmith, right? So this is the easy button. It's guaranteed to work with the Poly 80 Gen 3 19s, and then this is also a big announcement. This is a Glock 34 long slide. We're doing a limited run of these to gauge demand. And I want to get your reaction on this live on camera in front of everybody. Long slides, are they still a thing? Will people want this?
I don't know. I want it. I'm a 35 guy. I shoot 40 cal in competition, and I shoot mostly a 35 or a 24. So 24 is the 6-inch barrel.
Yeah, that's the big one.
That's the big one. So the 34, I shoot predominantly in steel matches because in the steel matches, it doesn't matter what caliber. You're not getting extra points for being major, minor. So I always switch over to a 9, and that's where I use my 34s in all the steel competitions.
Yeah.
I like the longer. I don't even know if it really makes a difference. When you have an optic on, I don't even think that the length makes a difference, but I feel like it does. So in my mind, I'm so accustomed to that 34 that I want it. But everybody's different, man. It's personal preference.
Yeah, right.
You know, I think longer is better. But
yes. So yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where, you know, this is the part where I ask the guys in the comments section, you know, are you interested in a Glock 34 long slide Wolverine? Because we've made a few of them and we're going to sell them and see how fast they sell and see what people think of them. But it's the same deal. It's just a 34. And while I'm talking about it, we're partnering up with a barrel company, and I need feedback on this too. So this barrel is made by 9X, and they're match grade, USA made, really, really top-notch new barrel company. And we're going to partner up with them, and we're trying to figure out how we want to present this. Do we want to make this an option where you can buy the slide? The slide, when you get it like this, it comes with a channel liner in it, but you need an upper parts kit. You got to get your extractor and your extractor plunger and your spring and all that kind of stuff. Your striker's got to go in there. It's got the liner in it, and that's it. Do we want to make these a combo deal where you can buy the slide and buy the barrel as part of the same SKU, and you just, you know, it comes already in there and you're good to go? Or do we just want to list them for sale separately and say, these are the guys who we recommend, they're guaranteed to work with it, but we're trying to make it to where it's like a Lego set, man, like building an AR where you just know that the upper's going to go on the lower and it's going to work and we're good, right?
I like it separate because I think a lot of people might have their own barrel. They probably
that's a good point.
Another barrel. So if I had a 34 and I want to upgrade to your upper, maybe I want to save $100 or $150 and not get the barrel and use my barrel. So,
right.
Like you said, it's a Lego thing, right? Everybody wants to mix and match and do it their way. So I would probably go separate and let people decide what they want to do. Every upper that I have, it's a complete upper. Like I just wouldn't buy an upper without a barrel. I don't swap, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So if I have an upper laying around, it's a complete upper. So I know that, but I also have, you know, a stack of Polymer 80s that I could just throw an upper on. So
yeah, you got quite a few of these things now, right? You've been doing this for about 3 years, right?
I have, you know, and every time they make an adjustment or they do something new. And I remember when Polymer 80, and I don't have one on me, but the magwell used to be part of the frame. Like that's how it came. And that was like their Gen 1 probably. So you couldn't put a magwell on it because it kind of had its own little magwell thing. And those were good. And then these were better. And they just, you know, every time they improved them, I got more and more of them.
That's the same philosophy we have. Incremental, small improvements. Everything counts. Nothing is unimportant. Everything has to be there for a reason.
And again, this is the 100%er. I don't really know what else they could do to improve this. Like, this is a solid gun.
It needs a dot on it. That's what it needs.
Well, they could have just put the cut, right? They could have just gave me the cut for an RMR.
You're gonna have to get one of these. Yeah. So, yeah. So it's a big. How many people do you think are actually into this? Building their own pistol now out of 80%. How's that going?
I get a lot of questions on my Instagram from New Yorkers, like, how do I do this? How do I legally get a polymer 80 and turn it into a gun and not go to jail? So it's not a difficult process. It's a little bit more of a pain in the ass, but it's easier to have it serialized when it comes to you. And I don't know if polymer 80 offers that service yet.
And for me, I'm down in Houston, Texas, where I live. I got a bunch of buddies with P80s, and they don't serialize them at all. I think if they're just going to keep it as their own gun, they don't have to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think the law is you can't transfer it or sell it or whatever.
Yeah, if you're going to sell it to someone else, then you got to serialize it. But as long as it's your own personal gun, at least as far as the Texas guys go, they're good. They can just build it up themselves and go shoot. Yeah. State laws vary, right?
I think that's a lot of states. A lot of people say this is New Yorkistan or the Republic of New York, but we definitely have our own laws here, and they are unbelievably strict.
Yeah, but I hate that idea about how the guys in New York or the guys in California somehow don't count because they have to live under strict and onerous law. Man, that's BS. You guys are Americans just like everybody else. You got a Second Amendment just like everybody else. We don't really have you got some extra hoops that you've got to jump through. But I hate the idea that those of us in more free states tend to turn our noses up. I don't turn my nose up at you guys at all.
Well, and I definitely appreciate that, but I can tell you the Second Amendment doesn't really exist here in New York. And in open court, I was told that having a pistol permit is a privilege, not a right.
Yeah. Well, we gotta make sure that we keep that sort of attitude from spreading. But this isn't going to be a political podcast today. Otherwise, we'd go for about 3 hours on this and then get banned off of YouTube afterwards. So,
True.
So we are to recap. We're going to do Glock 19s in gray and in black is our first run, with a special run of Glock 34s to gauge customer interest. The slides by themselves, the 19s are going to be $369 and $389. If you add on the full whack, full justice with the iron sights and everything, it tops out at $639, $659. I think are the most expensive ones that you can get when you have all the bells and whistles already on there. It's going to be guaranteed to work on a Poly 80 build. Everything's going to fit right in. We're going to partner up with these guys at 9X to have match grade barrels that we guarantee are going to work great with them. And it's going to open up, I think, a whole new avenue of custom pistol building for everyday Americans. That's affordable, and it's not buying a complete $600 gun and then throwing away half the parts and sending it off to get it totally reworked, right?
Yeah. And well, I had another question. Oh, the sights will be in front, right? All of them.
Yes.
All sights are in front.
Combat cut.
Set up perfect. So when you get that gun, the co-witness will be right on the dot.
Yeah, and the reason, one of our philosophies here at Swampfox is, oh, look at that! I hadn't seen that one before. Nice.
This is my practice gun. So this gun has been converted. It doesn't shoot projectiles. It shoots IR laser.
That's go for dry fire.
Yeah. This is just a dry fire gun.
That's awesome. Gun. Yeah, that's super cool.
That's my little. I don't even see it, right? It doesn't hold up.
Yeah. So man, dude, it's been great having you today. We really appreciate your time. Yeah. And, keep shooting, keep competing. I'll follow you on the gram and watch all that crazy fast shooting footage. I need to take a class from you on recoil control or maybe just on how to do squats with the correct form or something. I don't know. But, man, it's been a real pleasure to have you today. We're glad to have you on, man. Yeah.
Same here. Thanks for having me.
All right. I'll see you around.
See you soon.
All right, welcome back, and I thank John Napolitano for being my special guest for today. I've got Erin back in the studio with me now, and we want to cover just briefly some of the existing accessories that we make, and then we're going to do a big reveal on some accessories that you guys had no idea that we have been working on. So I've got some rings here. These are our Freedom rings, and these are our Hostile Engagement rings. And the difference is these are both 7075 aluminum, hard coat anodized, really super beefy rings. But what we did on the HE rings is we put RMR footprint optic mounts at 45-degree angles on the ring caps. And so you can take Liberty, Justice, Kingslayer, and you can put them right on the side there. They bolt right on, and you've got a backup RDS solution without having to buy a 45-degree offset if you want to do that when you put a LPVO or even a precision scope. You can do that on a bolt action. There's different ways of skinning that cat, but this is a very legitimate way to simplify and have a 45-degree offset red dot mount on your Hostile Engagement rings without having to buy another adapter or anything like that. Also, in marketing phrases that did not make approval, we thought about using the phrase Hostile Engagement rings, the engagement rings that men really want. But yeah, we didn't do that. So here are one-piece mounts.
Yep, so this is the new version of our Independence mount. It's a trimmed down, slimmer version. We went from the half-inch nuts to some Torx T25 bolts here. Allows you to put a little bit more force on, and it allows you to have a more flush-mounted surface. So depending on what platform you're mounting it on, as you're running your charging handle, you have a little bit more clearance. It just gives you a trimmer, slimmer package.
Khalil Ace, guys, that's for you.
Right? Now with this is the opposite of slim and trim and light. This is our Hostile Engagement mount. It uses the same 45-degree RMR mounts to allow you to put an RDS on the side, but this gives you that cantilever function to give you extended eye relief, especially for mounting on semi-automatic platforms. So your rings are going to be a little bit better for a lot of your really large platform or bolt actions. These are going to be for your AR-15s, AR-10s, things along those lines. And if you want something tough that you know is going to hold your optics strong, that's what the HE mount is for.
Oh yeah, it's crazy beefy. You're not going to break this one. Yeah, and anytime you need, to move the optic forward on your receiver rail, past the receiver of an AR-15, you need a one-piece mount like this with that forward offset.
Yep.
It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if you like a longer eye relief to really get on that thing. A lot of prone shooting, it's really good.
Yeah, super helpful.
Now, these are our Ironside Shield line. I am a big fan of these. They were hugely requested. And what these are a 304 stainless steel cage to go around your Liberty, Justice, and Sentinel optics so that if you're going to use these in a rough environment, you have something to protect your optic. You drop it, you smack it on a door frame, you just absolutely button hook around a car door. These are what is going to take that impact force as opposed to the hood of your optic. It also sticks out a little bit in front of the body of the optic, so if you need to do a one-handed manipulation off of a rough surface, this is going to transfer that force into the slide rather than into the optic itself. Now, one thing we do want to point out to you guys, any of these kinds of steel shields that you see on optics these days, these are meant to be a sacrificial part. This saves your optic from one catastrophic impact, and then you want to get another one. So that's why we have them priced so reasonably. It protects your multi-$100 optic, and then it's time to get a new one to continue protecting it.
Yeah. If you were in a car wreck and your bumper flew off because you were in a car wreck, you wouldn't wreck the car 6 more times in a row. You would put another bumper on there first, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
These are meant to be a sacrificial protector for your high-end optics.
Cool. Let's talk about screw pack real quick. We don't have a screw pack here because it's kind of silly for us to hold up baggies of 44 screws, but screw pack is one of those things where we saw a need and we took action to meet that need. Putting dots on pistols right now is kind of the Wild West. There's nothing that's standardized. It's all proprietary. And we have a lot of people that are saying, well, I've got this slide and I want to put this scope on it and the screws aren't working. What do I do? And we did a ton of research. You did a ton of research. And Screw Pack is basically 44 screws of 5 different thread pitches and a bunch of various lengths. And one of those sumbitches in there is going to work.
Yep. Including, we include 5 14 millimeter long screws in the do-it-yourself bag. This is for someone who has a really weird something or other out there. The pairing is just out of this world, and you need to custom fit this to your slide. One of those screws is going to work, but you are going to need to trim it down using a belt sander or a Dremel with a cutoff wheel, something like that, so that it is now going to be custom fit to your platform. As long as you're running one of these thread pitches, which thankfully we cover the most common ones, one of these screws in there will let you mount our optics or even someone else's optics to your slide.
Yep. It's $20 shipped at MSRP. You know, I wish we could, you know, just give people the exact correct screw every time by itself. But
there's too many.
Can't be done. And really, there's nobody else that's even doing this. If you call the other scope companies that are making these dots and you say, hey, my screws don't work, they'll tell you straight up, hey, we're not a screw company, we're a scope company. Go talk to the guy that's made your slide. Go cut to the gunsmith that did that cut, and you know, tell them to go to the hardware store and find screws. But
they're not at the hardware store.
They're not at the hardware store, and they're not online. So we made this for you guys. That was one of those things where we saw a need, and we're doing our best to address that need. One other thing I want to show that is in our current line is our mag extensions. We recently came out with these. We had
You all asked for them.
You asked for them. We had a limited number of these that we made for marketing purposes, just to put pictures on Instagram of cool builds, and there was a huge demand. Every time we put a picture up on Facebook and Instagram, people would be like, well, when can I get the mag extensions? So they're in stock now. These are made by TTI in the USA. I think they are the best mag extension design out there for OEM Glock mags.
They're really tough.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of use out of these.
Yeah. And we've got 2 different versions. One's for the Glock 15, 15-round magazine, and one's for the Glock 17, 17-round magazine. Don't mix them up.
Yep.
That was really surprising to me as we were researching this and figuring it all out. You can't just swap out the base plate and mix and match. There's actually an angle difference in there, right?
Yep. So between the 17 and the 19, the bottom of the grip has a slightly different angle. So there's a legitimate reason that your 19 mags need the 19 extension, the 17 mags need the 17 extension.
Yep.
It's just
so
angles.
buy the one that matches your mag. Don't try to like outsmart it and yeah, it won't work.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're there
just
for
buy
a
the one
reason.
that matches your magazine. Cool. All right, so those are accessories that we already make. Let's do some reveals, man. Let's talk about some new stuff.
Yep. So the first one is going to be our Rebel series. The Rebel series is an answer to us wanting our own offset and riser mounts for our RMR platform optics. So we'll go ahead and start with the riser. So this is Rebel Riser. This is a 6061 T6 aluminum Picatinny mounted RMR riser mount. This puts your optic at a lower 1/3 co-witness, and it'll also accept the Ironsides in addition to the Liberty or Justice.
Yeah. So for guys that want just a red dot, a micro dot, open reflex style sight on their lightweight build. You know, I've got a 300 blackout pistol. You know, it's a point and shoot. They're not doing BDC. Nobody's trying to shoot it at 500 yards. They just need a dot, and they want it to weigh nothing, right? The Ironsides and the Liberty, it's like an ounce, 1.3 ounces or something like that. It's how accurate is your scale? It's so little. And then the Rebel Riser mounts are also, they're tough, but they don't weigh anything. So this combination of putting the optic in the right place for your eye on an AR or a gun with that sort of ergonomics setup, it weighs so little. And the question is, what are we going to charge for them?
Well, I mean, most of the time you see these things going out there in the, $80 to $90 mark for a decent riser mount?
$75, $80, right?
Yeah.
And then you wait for a sale and you try to get it for $50.
So what could we do with these?
Let's make MSRP $45.
I think that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, let's make them $45 at MSRP. If you can wait for a sale, if you got a coupon code, more power to you. But this is straight to the RMR footprint. Liberty, Justice, Kingslayer goes right on here. There's no Picatinny involved. You don't need the low mount, the adapter, and all that stuff. It goes straight to the footprint. I love
Awesome.
it. Yeah.
So what if someone wants to use a larger optic with a red dot?
Right. So This is taking the world by storm recently, and we're on board.
One of the most popular things people have been doing are pairing large format magnified optics or even prisms with an offset red dot at a 45-degree angle right from the Picatinny rail. This is Rebel offset. Same 6061 T6 aluminum construction, but now you're able to maintain your cheek weld and simply rotate the firearm over, level the red dot out, and you're going to be able to simply shoot at red dot distances and then go right back to whatever magnified optic you're using.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. It looks like just a simple little chunk of aluminum, right? I mean, how hard could it be? You just stick it out there and you put it at a 45-degree angle. When we were developing this, we ran into several different ways that this thing won't work at all.
Yep.
It's harder than it looks.
You have to work in the platform. You have to figure out where everything needs to be. And that's what took a little bit of time for us to make sure that this was going to put that red dot where we wanted it. So you got a seamless rotation to the red dot and rotation back to your existing optic.
Without getting crap in the way, because I've got this one in front of a Tri-Hawk, but if you have this set up with an LPVO like Arrowhead, if it doesn't stick out enough or in the correct angle, the dang windage knob gets in the way.
Yep.
And then now I've got sort of an occluded sight picture where part of my window is covered up by the actual scope that I'm trying to look around. Yep. But if you stick it out too much, then it catches on everything and it hits your hands and all this other stuff. So it's a more difficult project than I would have anticipated, but I'm super happy with how it came out. And I want to point out, where's the one that's by itself?
This guy here?
There we go. This little guy here. And we've got one each. I don't know if you guys can see, but the footprint is held in with 2 screws. You can reverse it, and then you're good to go for lefties. Those guys that are left-handed, Allen Pack, paging Allen Pack, damn lefties. This will work for you. You can rotate the gun clockwise instead of counterclockwise, and that will get the job done for that, and it costs nothing extra. It's just built right into it.
You got it.
Let's make that the exact same price as the other one.
I like it.
$45 at MSRP, coming soon. How cool is that?
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Now, the next thing we're going to look at is our Freedom mount. So the Freedom mount is going to be a lighter weight skeletonized platform for LPVOs. This is so new. We're literally in the design phase for it, but we wanted to bring it to you guys because we have some questions about what you think is going to look better. So we're going to put 2 different renders up right now, and we'd like to know, what do you guys like better? Do you like render A, which we're looking at here?
Render A has got 2 cross bolts and a single sort of arm that they press against. And that design is going to have, it's going to, how do you say it? It's going to have...
it's a more even clamp.
Even clamp, right?
Yeah.
So there's more even force, and that one may be a little bit more repeatable in terms of not having to re-zero if you take it on and take it off, is what we're theorizing. You guys can see we've taken sort of an HE mount concept, and we're machining away all of the unnecessary, what we think is unnecessary aluminum to try to make it lighter, as light as possible.
Yep. Now we also have another version, which is version B, which you're looking at right now. Version B is an even more reduced version. We're going for as absolutely skeletonized as we're able to do with this. As you can see, we also have 3 mounting screws. The upside to 3 mounting screws is you now have more stability from recoil, but we're doing this offset trade with the clamping force. So what do you guys think you like better? Give us an idea of what you're going to want to go with for this Freedom mount, and we'll take it under advisement. We've got all the testing to do on it still, but we want to know what you guys are looking at.
I think my granddad would have said, if 2 bolts is good, 3 bolts must be better. I don't know if he was right, but that's what granddad would have said.
Well, the upside is now we've got a bunch of people we can ask.
Yeah. We need to know what you guys think about that. Do you like version A or version B better on the upcoming Freedom one-piece mount?
Yep. Now, this is kind of cool. You guys have been asking us, I'm having trouble mounting my platform to whichever slide, whichever optic. So let's go ahead and simplify this. All these optics-ready slides out there have some form of adapter plate, but sometimes they might not fit right. So we're going to try and handle that for you. Swampfox is coming out with our own line of optics-ready adapter plates for multiple different lines of handguns. So the first two that we're going after, because these have become really big, are the SIG line. So we're going to be doing not only the SIG Legion or 320 line, we're also going to be doing the SIG X5 line. So all of you out there that are loving your SIGs, we're going to have you covered. Next, we're going to be doing the Glock MOS to Rmsc line. This one is surprisingly requested, but there aren't a lot of options out there for it. So if you want Sentinel on a Glock 1917 or other full-size platform, you're going to be able to do it with our plate.
There are a surprising number of people that have asked us about that. So I don't really need the big window of the Justice. I want something that's really smaller and it's going to be easier for me to conceal or whatever. I don't need the big window, but I want that auto adjust. I heard the auto adjust is really good now. It's not like the old ones, you know. And so they want to put a Sentinel on a double stack Glock, and we looked around and there's nobody to even recommend for that. Like we have to make it because nobody else is really.
So if you want that auto adjust Sentinel on your Glock 19, it's coming.
Yeah.
Next, we've got the RMR to Rmsc. There's a few options out there for this, but a lot of people had run into conflicts from one angle or another, screw fitment heights, whatever. So we're going to do our own version. If your slide is cut for RMR, you're going to be able to mount Sentinel on it with the use of a single plate.
Yeah, that's the way my Glock 26 is. It was a gunsmith cut straight to RMR footprint. But now I'm stuck. Like if it's not RMR footprint, I can't do it.
Exactly.
So now I've got the RMR footprint on the slide. Put our plate on there, and I'll be able to do Sentinel, whatever I want to do.
Yep. Now the last one, you made friends with these dudes in a huge way because they were feeling really unrepresented. So what are we going to be doing for a section of the shooting community that is going to be really excited about this?
Attention, Canic shooters. Attention, Canic fanatics. Canic fanatics, please pick up the white courtesy phone. Guys, I've seen what's going on out there. That dang number 2 plate, you can't find it anywhere. Nobody's making them. We got your back. We're going to handle it. Canic TP9, full size to RMR. We will make the aluminum plate. It's going to be great. It's not going to suck. It's going to handle that situation for you. So you can put Kingslayer, Liberty, Justice on the Canic TP9 full size, and you will have a proper aluminum plate to do it with.
Yep. Now, all 5 of these plates that we're starting with are going to be 7075 T6 aluminum with hard coat finish. These things are going to be tough.
Yes.
But we need your guys' help. We're starting with 5. What else is there a demand out there for? Your brand of optics-ready pistol, if you're not happy with the plate that it comes with, we need to know what should we look at making an additional plate for, either for the Sentinel or the Liberty Justice line. Give us a reason to look at additional platforms.
Yeah.
This will make a big difference in where we put our efforts going forward.
Yeah. We want to farm your comments and say, hey, there's 10 guys in there that said they can't get their optics to work with blah, 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 slide. Okay, we're going to have to research that. We're going to figure it out, but we need to know what direction to put our effort in.
Yep. All right, so should we go ahead and give them an idea of the bundles?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, guys.
Do it.
So earlier, Mike was talking about the new Wolverine Glock 34 length slides.
Did you see it? Art? It's been here the whole time.
Yep. So,
oh yeah,
these are going later in this week to be sold in limited, really limited quantity. As soon as we greenlight it, and we will let you know as soon as they hit the market, these are going to be sold in a bundle with a 9X barrel, Steel City Arsenal guide rod, and a Justice with Ironsides. So you're going to be getting the new G34 Wolverine Slide, barrel, and optic with Ironsides combo. Okay? These
barrels
are going
by 9x19. I talked about them earlier with John Napolitano. These barrels are legit, guys.
These are going to be a super limited quantity to judge. Is this something that's really going to take the industry by storm? Do people still want G34s? So as soon as we let these things go live, and we will give you a heads up, get them. They're going to go really quick.
I have a feeling they're going to sell out pretty quick. I mean, we don't know that for sure, but Justice is for competition. It's a competition red dot. Glock 34, long slide is for competition. It's it's like peanut butter and jelly.
It goes together too well.
Come on. So I'm really hopeful that these are going to go really well. This particular build, I would rock this thing.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I like
nice.
that.
Let's give one away.
So, how about we give this one away? We could just do that, right?
Yeah.
So, today, our giveaway winner is Nick Kupik. Nick, you're going to be getting an email from us, and you're going to be receiving a gray Glock 34 slide with a 9X barrel, full internals on this one, Justice with Ironsides, and we're also going to include the Terran Tactical competition frame pack. This is ready to go. You slap this onto your P80 build or your Glock 17 frame, and you're off and running, dude.
And let's be plain about this. You're not getting one like this. You're getting the one that's in Erin's hands. And let me go even further and say, none of us have one of these yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't have one. I don't have one. Nick Kupek, you're getting yours before we're getting ours. What the hell, man?
Congrats, mate. You'll be hearing from us soon. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's what we've got for you on Wolverine and Accessories Day. You're going to be hearing from us again tomorrow for Red Dots.
Oh, we got Red Knot news.
Oh, we've got so much news you guys are going to love.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. So is there anything else you wanted to hit him with?
No. Guys, seize your freedom. Be safe. See you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Let's do it.
Have a good night.